Hello and welcome to the Best Of. On the Best Of, we focus on the best in the areas of business, entertainment, sports, and the community. And as you may recall from our last show, we were talking about bringing your A game. Yes, I'm Ricky Tucker, but I'm also known as Coach RIX. And we're going to be talking about the ABCs of sports. Your A, bring your A game. B, plan B, and C, career transition. We started last time with Tommie Thompson, who is really our global leader for Coach RIX winners, and we decided that we're going to drill down quite a bit more. So we had Tommie to come back so that we could talk about sports some more. We can talk about how we can help and focus on helping our young athletes and family members. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Tommie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be back, Rick.
Oh, it is always so glad to have you here. And as we said, the last time we were talking about Coach RIX winners and bringing your A game. As I've said, that you've been a faithful member and a team member of Coach RIX winners since we've really gotten launched, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for that. So thank you very much, and thank you, Miss Betty, for sharing him with us, and thank you, Coach Gwen, for helping us out to keep things moving. So we realize that we all have something in common. We've got gentlemen that have dedicated their time and their lives to helping young athletes and their family members in the past, and they're continuing to do so by helping along with Coach RIX. So we're excited about that. Tommie, the last time we talked a bit about your background, and so we want to talk about that a little bit more. We realize that you bring a lot of experience to the organization. So if you would just kind of tell the audience about some of your experience, some of the experiences that you had.
Sure. Again, as I said last time, I'm retired from International Paper after 33 years of working various positions with them. Retired as a business analyst. It's been about 5 years now. However, the involvement into a lot of volunteer work has brought me full circle to a lot of the things that I like to do, and that is still work with young people, young athletes, as they are developing their lives, developing their careers. Again, I really can't name what a favorite sport of mine is. It's full gambit. So I really am somewhat a sports fanatic per se.
Well, that's the amazing thing, and I realize that during our calls, and we've been getting on conference calls now for the past year, and the more we get on the conference calls and we talk about the challenges and opportunities for young athletes, both male and female, and their family members, the more I see how deep and how broad everybody's experience is. Now, you have just about all the knowledge there is about sports history, and as you said, across the board, along with some of the other members. You said there's really not a favorite sport. If you really had to nail down one, what would that be?
Well, I guess whatever season it is. Right now, we phased off of football, so I would say basketball right now will be the favorite sport.
Awesome.
But I have had experience in coaching baseball as well as basketball, and a little bit of success there. So I guess you probably would say that basketball would have just a slight edge over the other sports.
Awesome. Well, as time progresses, we will have the opportunity to either through some retreat or seminar that we may have in another city to grab some interviews from some of the other team members. But from our last show, we did talk about some of the other team members around the country. For example, we've got Rob Clement, and Rob really specializes in financial planning and thinking forward for the young people, for the athletes and all. He's just been in the financial business for quite some time. And then Nick Hubbard is a parent as well as a coach. And during the conference calls, realize that Nick doesn't just focus on basketball coaching, he's building young men of character. And that's really what Coach RIX Winners is all about. If we were to think in terms of let's kind of share, if you would, some of the other guys that are on the team so that we can share with our listening audience just some of the other guys in the other markets and some of the things that they're doing. And then we're going to drill down and talk about the values that Coach RIX Winners and all of our subject matter experts bring.
Yeah, we have Jimmy Jenkins is in the North Carolina area, and he's an ex-athlete himself. He's also have a son that has played at the Citadel and then also played overseas. So he knows a little bit about sports and has a real sincere interest.
And if my memory serves me correctly, I think Jimmy has a pretty mean three-pointer still at a retirement age.
Yeah, he does, and I hate to commend him on that, but I will commend him. He does have a very good outside shot, and
absolutely.
I believe he passed it on to his son.
Absolutely, great. And
then there's Ronald Thompson, who's in the Cincinnati area. We talked about him a little bit. He used to coach a high school baseball team, and he's a good athlete himself. He played sports, all-around sports. And then there's trying to remember all the fellows that are involved. There's Robert Jenkins. We'll talk a little bit more about him, Coach Jenkins. And then there's Tommie Liggins, is in Illinois, and he's had the experience of going all the way to even being drafted by the Jets at some point. And then we'll talk about what kind of hindered that particular aspect. Okay. But he is presently coaching. He has coached at the college level. He's presently coaching at the high school level now.
Wow, yeah. And then we've got just a few other guys too. And there's another father and son team of Noah and Zach Guess, and they're in the Memphis area. And we've had a number of other people to join us on our weekly conference calls, and we're really inviting other people to join us as well. So ladies and gentlemen, if you would, grab your pen and paper, and we'd love for you to reach out to us. We can be reached on Facebook by going to Ricky Tucker, and you can drill down and look at Coach RIX Winners and like us on Facebook. We can also be reached at 901-870-7492. That's 901-870-7492. And we can be reached by email at rixinternational@msn.com. Once again, we're with Tommie Thompson, and Tommie is one of our team members. He serves as our global leader for Coach RIX Winners, because we do plan to ultimately spread our wings and make sure that we have no boundaries so that we can help athletes from everywhere. Once again, we talk about bringing our A game, and that A game really is designed, and we're going to talk about that some more and really tell you more about what those A's represent. But that's more or less our motto, is because we want everybody to bring their best. And then we always want our athletes to have an alternate plan. So often we have athletes that don't think about what that second choice may be. You and I were just in an appointment last week, and we talked with a young man, and he tried out for a professional team. Fortunately for him, his plan B is very alive and well for him, but as he was mentioning to us, there are a number of other folks that just did not think that they would not make the sport, whether it's in the NBA, whether it's in the NFL, whether it's Major League Baseball or otherwise. So, ladies and gentlemen, we really want to focus on helping to plan in advance for those career choices. And then last, the C, that's career transitioning. Even if they make the league, we're interested in helping them to start thinking about what they can do once they have left the sport. There's so many possibilities and opportunities within the sport. So let's talk about a little bit more. Now, we do have a product here in the form of our Coach RIX Winners book, Bring Your A Game, and we focus on the 5 A's: attitude, academics, athletics, associations, and anchors. We're going to drill down a little bit more and talk about that because, Tommie, you may recall this summer we had an opportunity, and Coach RIX was fortunate enough, I was fortunate enough to be asked to present to over 1,000 people this summer, over 180 AAU basketball teams. During that time, we talked about, basically we referenced bringing your A game. The A for athletics, we talk about those things, knowing the game. And Tommie, we can just kind of chime in a little bit here. On the athletic side, just knowing the game, making sure that you're physically fit, and we'll refer to Terrence a little bit because we realize that Terrence, as we said in the last show, is one of your grandchildren, and he's the oldest, we'll say he's mature, so we'll kind of use him as an example. But as it relates to athletics and Terrence knowing the game and really being physically fit, how do you feel about what you've seen so far with him from the grandfather?
I think it's very important that he understands what his strengths are, and that he is working with the trainer. Not to say that every athlete needs to work with a trainer, but you need to be able to take it serious enough to know that when you're competing out there, you need to be in the most physical condition, the best physical condition that you can be.
Absolutely.
And so, it means, making sure that you're taking care of your body, making sure that you're getting the appropriate rest. The trainer will let you know what activities that you should be involved in, as far as, lifting weights, what exercises to take to build the core muscles up. And his dad has helped him out quite a bit, and he is doing a lot of those positive things.
Yeah, and the thing that I've noticed too is in talking with him, he is seeking more, particularly on the fitness side. When they visited the Memphis market, we connected him and had him to interview and talk with Tony Knox at Forever Fit over at the corner of Ridgeway and Poplar. And when they were talking, the one thing that he expressed was just that interest in doing the right things and taking care of his body. And Tony Knox is an incredible fitness trainer, so I think he approved of what he saw and what he heard. Yeah. So that's athletics. The next is academics. And I will say I've had the pleasure of talking with a gentleman, a basketball coach for well over 40 years. And of all of the times that we have talked, I have never heard him refer to his players in such a way any way other than being a student athlete. He always refers to them as being student athletes. That classroom work and making sure that that discipline is